Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. This is a very good song that's playing right now, Rising of the Moon. Very like classic folk song. So we didn't get the encirclement that I wanted here in Asia, but or like Indochina, sort of this region here in Burma. But we did get an encirclement over here. I don't know exactly how many troops or how many divisions. I think it's only like 3. And then we got one over here, which I think is 2 divisions potentially. And as we saw last episode at the end of the casualty breakdown, Japan has suffered significant casualties. Though we all know how Japan is with manpower. They're unextensive. They have 600,000 if we go by the most conservative estimates. Alright, we are now going to focus a little bit on the Portuguese frontier. Because now these tanks have been freed up and can actually assist, and we're going to have them assist here. Because we want to push the front forward so that they cannot create an encirclement by just pushing into one of these provinces here, or like these tiles. Also, we did change something over here. Fleet-wise, we now have, let's see here, we have, where is it? There we go. An interdiction squadron, which is exclusively made out of destroyers. Their role is going to be to try to intercept any British troop transports that are coming this way through the Gulf of Mexico. I doubt the British have a lot of ships over here, but they must have naval superiority in order to actually conduct the naval invasions. I'm not quite sure what's giving them that, but the destroyers, which are cheap, like inexpensive ships, relatively speaking, will give us some information about what that is. If they get engaged, I'll reassign them somewhere else. But yeah, let's unpause and see how it goes here in Portugal. Oh, that's called the Empire of Brazil. Oh, I mean, we're already at war, but they got called into this war here. Yeah, this is just same old enemies, but called into different wars. Yeah, this is just gonna keep grinding away as we send more troops over here. And this is relatively safe as of now. Alright, let's ship over, or let's swap over towards... Sorry, I was gonna start using the minimap, but it's a hard habit to break to just pan over. There we go. Oh. I mean, I guess that's fine. It's kind of weird how he retreated and then they're sending new troops in there. That could have allowed them to slip a troop, or troops be, like, passed over there, but luckily they didn't. Which means I'm going to send troops over that way once we get close to the line, because these guys have to pull back there first before they can move. Maybe that is going to give us the sort of headway we need to get over there. I'll send the tanks over as well. And since these tanks are no longer assisting in the assault, they're gonna actually full-on assault over there. And let us unpause. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Suddenly... Oh, yeah. This is just all kinds of weird right now. I think, how many victory points is this? This is a 5-pointer, and they have another 2-pointer up there. And we currently control... we control a 10-pointer, and we control a 5-pointer, so... It is very possible that if we take Moulmein, we could just nuke Mandalay once we get nukes, so that we don't actually have to fight up here in the mountains. And then they might capitulate. That is wishful thinking, though. Because if you nuke someone, they're let's see, they're what's it called? there's stability drops, which means that you require less victory points in order to actually win. So currently, Burma will only capitulate when they control 20% or less. However, if we nuke them, we could lower that, or, I mean, raise that, I suppose. In order to actually win this war, all we need to do is just take something like Mandalay, I think. Which we could do with paratroopers, maybe, but that's, again, easier said than done. Currently we don't have paratroopers, and we would need to get an airport over here as well. Which, I mean, I think this one is... How big is it? 400. It's not great, but we could go over there. Problem is, it's going to be like filled up by a bunch of fighters and stuff, but I think maybe they'll vacate if it's my airport. I'm not quite sure. Like in order to give way for my my planes. Nepalese Socialist Republic. Yeah, we were witness to its creation earlier. We've still not done the focus yet. We haven't. It's only going to be another 30 days, so if we... Okay, so we can, within 30 days, so this is probably going to be like exactly on the point for when we finish the focus. Actually, it's going to be before that. Or sorry, the focus is going to be done. Actually, it might be exactly on the dot. Hopefully it is, because then we can immediately go into the electronics research. Dude, our industry is popping off way too fast, which means I need to keep going back over towards Germany in order to build stuff. It's a blessing and a curse, honestly. And we don't have a lot of like foreign territories or anything to build in. We could actually build in Mexico, but again, we can't build radars in puppets, and that's so annoying, honestly. Maybe we'll build some of these. Just to help them out a bit here. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, whoa, whoa, okay. Our Kaiser Wilhelm II has died of a pulmonary embolism in the Charité Hospital in Berlin today. It is the end of an age. Wilhelm II was the last European monarch who reigned during the 19th century, and his whole life he tried to uphold, sometimes succeeding, often failing, the values that he had identified with that era. With his death, the 20th century will at last be fully upon us. All over the empire, flags are flying at half-mast, and public ceremonies are being organized to honor the Weltkriegs Kaiser, the Kaiser who won the world for Germany. One of the onlookers in Berlin is Kronprinz Friedrich Wilhelm, who will now have to uphold the honor of the Kaiserreich in the world. The Kaiser is dead. Long live Kaiser Wilhelm III. And there we are. Something about their family without a mustache just doesn't look quite right to me anymore. Despite lackluster performance as commander of Germany's Army Group B during the Weltkrieg, was hailed as a hero upon his return home. With the death of his father, Wilhelm the war hero was enthroned as the new emperor of Germany. Wilhelm is a friend and ally of Kurt von Schleicher? I don't know. And affirms the importance of the aristocracy in governance. Alright then, dude. Hopefully it doesn't push back against our democratic reforms. What are you doing over here? Ooh. Okay, so the Canadian fleet, like the entirety of it, seems to actually be out here in this area. So I wanted to send some submarines to raid over here instead of here, thinking, erroneously, obviously, that it would be safer. But the Canadian fleet is out in force over here, so I'm actually going to try to assign one over there and see how that goes. Coronation of Wilhelm III. With the passing of the great Weltkriegs Kaiser Wilhelm II, Wilhelm III has given a grand speech on his coronation day to guide all of Germany towards prosperity and to safeguard our interests across the globe. Heil dir im Siegerkranz. Heil dir im Siegerkranz. I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, something like hail, something, salute. And Kranz, I kind of associate with like a wreath or like a crown or something. Oh boy, another submarine lost. However, we are seeing great success after reassigning them over here. Probably all of those are transport ships, which is amazingly great. This, however, not so much. Oh, never mind. They're pushing aggressively, I think. Maybe. Oh, I'm not getting the... Oh, there we go. I wasn't getting the battle plan in front. Alright, let's try to micromanage a little bit here. The tanks are still going that way, and the rest are reinforcing or supporting that attack. We're currently at a place, I think, where we can hold this for a while. And we can now start to organize our tanks for a kind of a Schwerpunkt kind of approach, where we basically mass all of our firepower in one place and attack from there. I keep saying this and I want to click it. I'm going to dismiss it. And I'll remember once the focus tree thing pops, hopefully, that I need to click it again. Whoa, wait, hold on. Did we beat them back, but we didn't attack. But yeah, because I cancelled, I think, the attack order, that might have reset their AI, kind of, maybe? I don't know. Like, it might have been made them reconsider and just, you know, choose to stay behind after all, after they won the battle. Yeah, they can move directly over there, so that means that a lot of these guys They should reposition automatically depending on where they're needed, so they're probably needed over there. Needed as in like to repel attackers, obviously not in terms of needed for the offense. I don't think the AI actually thinks in very like very strategic terms when it comes to that, like because you wanna keep just barely enough troops at the border in order to repel attackers, and then mass the rest where you actually want to make like any gains. Let's see, we were going to... Oh, we're so close. Yeah, we're gonna make it. We're going to do... or we can do this, but we were going to do the new variants of the old plane. We really haven't had any big like air fights and stuff at all, really. We had like some air combat over in the Weltkrieg proper, but honestly, both of our air forces were basically like 100 planes at that point. So I wouldn't really count it. And we haven't really needed anything, so I think one of the few strategic, very like strategic I suppose not missteps, but the opposite. Something good. One of the few good things I did strategically speaking was to not actually rush the fighters, instead focus on other stuff, because we really have not needed it at all. Yeah, let's see here. We're going to do this, and we're going to upgrade their engines so we can have higher... Actually, no, that's not range. There we go, range. And we'll do reliability and some weapons. Reliability again, so we get that minus away. And we will call these the... So that is 21, someone pointed out in the comments, and that should now be the D22, which actually might just be this, but I will call it the D22 now instead. Because Roman numerals upset me. There we go. I think they pointed the Roman numeral thing out like 20 videos ago. Or pointed that out 20 videos. But it stuck with me, damn it. Oh, speaking of, Adolf Duttmann. Pocket TV, so that's oh, sorry, Western something. That's a an air... Wait, hold on. It has to be an It's not this one, because there's no ace pilot here. Petit Rouge. In Provence. So that is a tactical bomber that is bombing the Western Mediterranean Sea. So he's bombing the Ghost Fleet, and that made him an ace pilot. Oh, he sank the France. All right. He sank France. Yeah, this is static for now. Let's leave it as is. Let's focus on the real stuff. This river here is kind of hell when you invade Portugal. So what you want to do, I think, is to try to push out and not push over the river and into a city that usually has forts like this one, and instead try to push out and then onto these tiles instead. They'll be less defended, and they're plains as well, so you can then push onto them and then try to push into the city from different tiles at the same time. Oh yeah, we finished the national focus, which means we can now take this one without feeling bad about ourselves, and It's not time yet. Did we have an Ostwall or something? I haven't seen it, and we're not quite at the point where we can do Heinz Guderian, but we will soon be there. We almost get 2 per day, 1.5 per day. That's actually so good compared to like the 0.3 or something we used to have. Oh, 1.5, sorry. Compared to the 0.3 we used. That was actual hell. Tell me we are winning in the war or in the air here. Yes, we are. And we barely even have to do anything. Yeah, we got the Ludendorff linear, which is for the western border against France, and we don't even have to worry about that anymore. You know, like unless there's some sort of crazy absurd event where whoever this dude is gets like assassinated or something, we shouldn't have any problems. Francois III. Yeah, we shouldn't have any problems with France for a while. And by a while, of course, I mean the entire game. Can you tell I'm sick? Let's keep hammering at these boys. Do not let them rest. We probably should have taken this, like the this isn't a salient, it's a like this kind of pocket, this bulge, I guess, first. If we take this though, and keep these guys stuck, we could actually encircle all of these, so never mind, I am a genius. We definitely should have attacked this one first. How did you not see my genius before now? Okay, let's see. 3 civilian factories. Possibly naval bases, but we have enough of them in Europe. I'm thinking at some point when we start fighting the Canadians for real, we're gonna want stuff over here. Yeah. And at some point we're gonna want, well, we could also improve these bases and they might help us with range over here. Or sorry, bases don't even do range in this game. That's, what am I thinking of? Is that Victoria or is that EU4? Victoria 2, by the way. One of the best games by Paradox Interactive. God, I love that game. I wish they did a game kind of like that, with that focus on politics and on the like the ideologies of the era and stuff. Again, I mean, I think everyone wishes they did that because, you know, Victoria 3 is this like huge meme in the Paradox community. I think it's also a reason why I really like Kaiserreich, because of the ideological, you know, nature of it, like, or the varying ideologies and the various like political struggles in this compared to the ones in in the Heartspan 4 Vanilla World War II, where everything is just kind of I mean, vanilla is a good way to describe it. Very vanilla, like, you know, we're fighting a war kind of type of deal. The actual like ideological struggles aren't very, they're not brought to the fore in that one, but they are in this, and I really appreciate it. Okay, we've run this over a bit, but that's fine, because when you do, you start getting more political power per day. Time for Guderian and a new doctrine. This is Dutch, I think. Morgen gaat het beter. Maybe. GAA, two A's, in the Scandinavian tradition means an O sound. I'm not sure if it means the same in the Dutch tradition, but I think they are... There's some weirdness going on with language and stuff in Europe, where I think Dutch is kind of... I mean, it does geographically sit like that as well, but it sits at this like midpoint between a lot of the languages surrounding it, where it has a relationship to French and stuff, and to German, but also I think it's got some sort of relationship to the Scandinavian languages as well. That's kind of like, when you hear Dutch as a Norwegian person, it sounds like someone is speaking gibberish like a Norwegian person is speaking gibberish. Like the words they're saying don't make sense, but the sounds they're making are familiar. It's very strange. I suppose if you're like an Anglophone, you might not have any sort of comparable or any sort of comparison. So the that might just fall on deaf ears. I have noticed in terms of like analytics, which I'm a sucker for stats and stuff. In terms of analytics, how many like actual Americans do watch these videos. It's quite a bit actually compared to what I thought it would be. Then again, Americans are going to make up like most of your market, I think, in general, if it is in English. So it seems like this point is the weakest, which is good because that's the point I want to attack anyways. Let's split these guys up. I put two over here. Have the tanks attack. And then let us have the infantry support. And hopefully that should work. Oh cool, we do control an airport actually, and the Stuka-Geschwader, that's incorrect because these are not Stukas though, are they? No. That is a vanilla like squad name or wing name, sorry. That being said though, Stuka might just be like a German word for close air support, I'm not sure. I definitely would not know. I'm gonna try to push it a little bit longer on this video because I really want the fall of Portugal to be in this video. That way I can focus on something else in the next video, like, oh! It's begun! Oh, that's cool. The Teke Free State. Uganda. Just a bunch of like small African nations here. Rwanda. He kind of looks like a default Hearthstone 4 like portrait. He might be real though, I'm not sure. Just like the colors and stuff. And we've got Burundi state. So we've got Burundi. I'm excited to see what else comes out of this. It's taking along. Yeah, this video is gonna go slightly over time. I'm also just incredibly excited to see what happens with this. So, okay, before we free any sort of Portuguese nation here, we're gonna start building radios here, because we can't do that afterwards. So we want to set that infrastructure up before we free them, or like create a puppet state. Because I want to have radar in this area. I'm also setting up the infrastructure just to better improve the supply situation in the eventual war with the Soviet Republic. Keep calling it the Soviet Union. It isn't. Totally different, dude. Right, the fall of Lisbon. This is, I believe, just a general, like, generic fall of, you know, insert capital name here message, with just like an insert of a major location in the capital. The Portuguese defenders intentionally destroyed Lisbon's bridges, forcing attackers to ford across the large river to fully capture the city. A ceremony was held in the Praça de Comércio, where German forces called for the surrender of all remaining Portuguese soldiers in the hillsides. Cool. I know someone who lives in those hillsides. At least I think it's in the hillsides. Alright, let's go. Push for the end, or yeah, push towards the border, the end of Portugal here. Push towards Porto. We're chugging through fuel, and most of it is from Navy, of course. A significant portion from the air, though. We may have to sort that out. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Oh, this should be criminal. Oh, this should not be allowed. Somebody stop this man. Oh, yes. Oh, you love to see it. Let me just double check that nothing terrible has happened over here. No, it hasn't. Or here. Or here. Oh. I mean, that's not that terrible. Looking for that capitulation message, please. Portugal has capitulated. Great news. Indeed it is. Let's do casualty reports before my voice finally croaks. And let's see here. Canadian-German War. Please open up. There we go. 4 million and 2.7 million here. Is that a different... Hold on. I have to do this every goddamn time. It should be all wars, yeah. So 4 million, that's crazy, dude. Japan has lost 2.4 million. Commonwealth of Canada now is almost on 670,000. Who got knocked out of this war? This seems way too short. Dominion of India, 740,000 in this bloody war here in India. We have lost 600,000. Surely that has dropped since last time. I can't be crazy here. Something is changing, which is making these numbers completely incorrect. Also, holy shit. That has to be... Yeah, it's because of all these guys. The fielded manpower there. I'm gonna go back and watch the old video and see if that is actually correct, because this seems so weird. But it might just be my memory that's kind of like telling me, you know, it's time to go to bed. Or my brain telling me it's time to go to bed. So for this war to be over, we do have a lot of big boys to take out. First of all, the Entente can actually be taken out by just taking out Canada at this moment, because the Dominion of India no longer counts as a major power. That is awesome, because we might want to just sort that out real quick. Get them done, and then it's just the Empire of Japan on the Core Prosperity Sphere. Get that done before any of this stuff gets out of hand. Right, well, that is the end of the episode. Oh, 1 million on Ching there. That is the end of the episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.